on my 4 years of doing the free legal aid, I have come up with the summary of the most common problems of Filipinos in the UAE. Actually, this can be summarized into 5 letter I's. My name is Barney Almazar. I'm the author of the Essential OFW Guide to UAE. I'm also the head of the free legal aid clinics at the Philippine Embassy and Consulate. The first letter I will be indebtedness, and this would cover cases such as bounce checks, unpaid credit cards and loans, giving your passport as your guarantee, being victimized by loan sharks. The most common reason why Filipinos would end up in this situation is that they have not yet been accustomed to a new lifestyle. They are earning more here in the UAE, and because they failed to adjust instantly, they tend to overspend. So you would see people who have minimum payment dues that are far exceeding their monthly income. So there is no way that you would be able to get yourself out of debt if you continue spending more than your income. The second I is intoxication. The reason why a lot of Filipinos would fall into this problem, it's because back in the Philippines, consumption of alcohol is a regular thing. It's not regulated. But in the UAE, you have to secure first an alcohol license before you can purchase or consume alcohol. Somehow on the same level as intoxication is cases regarding illegal drugs. This would range from recreational drugs that are being retailed on the street and those who are caught in possession. So there are sellers and there are users of the illegal drugs. The third letter I is immorality, or what we call the love cases. Back in the Philippines, having a relationship without the benefit of marriage is not criminally sanctioned. However, under the UAE law, living together in one roof, even if there's no sexual activity, if you're male and female, will be already considered as a criminal offense. Typically, this situation is heightened when the woman becomes pregnant. When you have to deliver the baby, you have to provide your marriage certificate to prove that you are married. If they are unable to do that, of course, it's a clear indication that they have violated the law. The fourth I is illegal recruitment, or cases involving problems with their employers or from their agencies in the Philippines. The usual cases that we face are contract substitution. That is, their contract that they signed in the Philippines, when they reach Dubai or any parts of the UAE, the terms and conditions of their employment is inferior. Other cases would be people coming here on a tourist or visit visa, and it's difficult for them to find employment. The reason why they would come here without a working visa is because it's difficult for them in the Philippines to secure the approval of the government for them to be able to leave the country and work abroad. It's a tedious process that they have to undergo before the immigration officers in the Philippines would let them leave the country. So what is happening when they are here in the UAE? The employers would know that they are on a tourist visa on a limited stay. That's why the employers would have more bargaining power. The employee will just have to accept whatever terms and conditions the employer is giving because they don't have any choice. But then that would trigger them to look for another job while they are on an employment visa already. And this would attract labor ban, court cases regarding labor because they are unable to finish their contractual obligations with their employers. Others would just buy visas so that they can legally stay in the country, which is of course illegal because you can only work for the sponsor shouldering your visa. The fifth I is improper documents, or those that would deal with forged documents or falsified certificates. Like for example, securing a fake tenancy contract for you to be able to sponsor your wife or your spouse and your children. This is being tracked not just by the immigration but also together with the other government institutions. If you present a falsified document, especially if it bears the stamp or the seal of the UAE government, the punishment is stiffer compared to falsifying private documents.